What's up, guys?
Oh, we starting? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, put your phone away.
Hey, fuck you.
Zombie? God.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Geek and Seek podcast. My name is Morgan.
Sean.
Preston.
I'm Lopez.
Just so you guys know, we do have our podcast available on Soundcloud as well, if that is something that interests you. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about 27 of the 36 already released Planeswalkers for the new Magic the Gathering set, War of the Spark.
So go check us out on SoundCloud. Not Lopez, but us.
Yeah.
Hey, check me out too, Marky223.
So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be going through alphabetically all of the Planeswalkers that we have been that have been known to us so far. First up, we have Ajani the Great-Hearted. He is a legendary Planeswalker. For 2, a green and a white, 5 loyalty. He has an enchantment ability that says creatures you control have vigilance. Then for +1, you can gain 3 life, and then -2, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each other Planeswalker you control.
This card will be in everything, and it's going to be the most expensive card in this set.
I don't know about
By
that.
far.
I don't know about that, but
Of all the Planeswalkers,
I'd say it's pretty solid. So
It is a solid card.
it's solid, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's kind of like just a slight step down from a Johnny Steadfast. It's more color sensitive, so like you have to play green and white, but like its abilities are pretty similar. All right, so the next Planeswalker, we're getting
black.
another Ongroth. We saw this guy back in Ixalan for 2, and then hybrid black-red, and then hybrid black-red. 5 loyalty. He has a ability that says creatures you control have menace, and then -2, amass 2, which is a new mechanic being brought to us in the new set. Amass 2, so that would be put 2 +1 counters on an army you control. If you do not control an army token, create a 0/0 black zombie army token.
Ooh, okay.
Wait, a 0/0?
Yeah,
but you put
so you put counters on them.
Yeah.
So amass
okay.
is a new mechanic where
I've never
you
heard of this
basically
mechanic.
you create
It's new.
It's new.
It's new.
You create a 0/0 zombie token, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if it dies, then you make a new one. But the idea is that you just have this one token that just keeps getting bigger every time you amass.
Damn. Can you say zombie deck?
Yeah, right.
Well, right off the back, the art's fucking badass. Not gonna lie.
Ongroth is cool.
Yeah, the art is badass.
The Ongroth that was in the pre-con from Ixalan sucked. Or Rivals of Ixalan.
Well,
my
Ixalan
bad.
in general just sucked.
Nah.
No, I didn't.
I liked it,
There's
but I
a
liked
couple
his
great
normal
cards.
There were a couple great cards, but overall as a set, no.
Hey man, we made Opt modern legal. That's all I give a crap about.
Fuck your shit.
No, but this is our first look at a Planeswalker that is an uncommon, which is weird. By the way, I don't know if I
That
said
is
this.
weird.
Ajani was a rare. That Ajani, he's a
Yeah,
rare,
I
not
noticed.
a mythic.
I noticed that was
Yeah.
rare.
That
Do
really
they
brings
have
the
any
cost down, it
mythics
seems
yet?
like.
Oh no, they have a couple mythics.
Yeah,
okay.
there are a handful of mythics still. But I mean, granted, if they're gonna have 36 Planeswalkers in the set, I mean, they can't all be mythic.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be weird. Initially, I thought it was kind of dumb that a lot of these Planeswalkers only have minus abilities. They don't have ways to raise their own loyalty. But Proliferate is a mechanic that is coming back into War of the Spark. For those of you who don't know, Proliferate
bet.
is a mechanic that whenever you proliferate, God, that's a hard word to say when you're in a sentence. But if you have a counter, any kind of counter, so whether it's an energy counter, 1/1 counter, -1 counter, loyalty counter, whatever, you make another one of that. So
on all of your permanents.
on all of your permanents. So a decent amount of cards they've leaked already have Proliferate. So that's the main way that these, especially these uncommon Planeswalkers that don't have ways to protect themselves or raise their loyalty on their own, that's how they're going to happen.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of infinite combos with Proliferate.
There probably are.
There's definitely one almost infinite combo. Well, I don't know if it had Proliferate, but one of the Planeswalkers, their minus is to untap a permanent. Oh yeah, it's Proliferate, because then you proliferate and then you put stuff on there with the permanent you tap down to give counters. So you just keep doing that and give all your other Planeswalkers as many loyalty counters as you want.
Damn.
And it's a colorless artifact that you can tap down.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
That's badass.
I mean, unless I misread it, it was earlier in the day, but I'm pretty sure I saw that you could do that.
That's disgusting.
okay, the next one.
Yay for infinite.
Next Planeswalker, we got another Arlen, Voice of the Pact. We have not seen her since Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she is not a flip card though.
Nope.
This time, not this time. She's mono green this time for 4 and 2 green.
6 cost.
Yes. So 6 total. Set comes in with 7 loyalty, which is a lot more than a lot of these. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it, and then her -2. Create a 2/2 green wolf creature token.
Oh, so she was that planeswalker that you flipped or whatever in Shadows?
She was the planeswalker from Shadows that
Shadows,
flipped.
the werewolf. Yeah, I remember that.
This is probably the worst planeswalker because I don't think there's gonna be enough wolf and werewolf synergy.
I mean, even in this set,
I already know I'm gonna make a werewolf death. I don't know if you guys might.
She might be good in draft.
She might be good in draft. She is a 6 cost though. You have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, she's not gonna be in standard.
Yeah, she's not gonna be standard.
No, but I was gonna say I did play werewolves in standard back in like Eldritch Moon Shadows.
Yeah, but I mean Eldritch had a lot of mechanics for werewolves.
Plus, way back then you were kind of a bum.
Yeah, red. We all know that red green's a little sketch.
Yeah, and you played it
A little bit, yeah.
Now, if you're playing tribal, like in Commander, and you had this on the field, that ability for it to enter with a +1 counter is nice. But you also have to keep in mind that a lot of the good werewolf cards, they flip into werewolves, so when they enter the battlefield, they're humans. So
right, so they could work
don't
either
even
way.
get
You
that.
could put them in a human soldier deck, or you could just put in a werewolf deck.
Well, not the
No, but he's saying, like,
Eldrazi werewolf.
that
though.
ability doesn't
Yeah.
work with most of them because they flip into.
Oh
a
yeah,
werewolf.
no, it doesn't.
You know, I was trying to defend this card, but you're right. It is the worst.
it does. It does
the
kind of
worst.
suck, which is sad because.
All right, so some of these, when they're popping up on your screen, they might look a little funky, and that is because it hasn't been released in English yet. It was released in another country as a promo.
So that's confirmed. Like
yes,
by
this is
Wizards
what
of
it
the
is.
Coast?
Yes, this
Okay.
is what it is. So this is we have Chandra, Fire Artisan.
Artisan, probably.
Artisan.
I think it's how you say it.
Whatever, man. Okay, for 2, and then a
You
red
tried,
and a
Morgan.
red. We got for 4 loyalty, Chandra. Her enchantment-like ability is whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are removed from Chandra, she deals that much damage to target opponent or planeswalker. She has a +1 that says exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn, which is kind of like a throwback to that one from Kaladesh. And then her ultimate, her -7, exile the top 7 cards of your library. You may play them this turn.
That's
It's
That's
kind of okay,
alright.
but she's a rare.
I mean, she's a rare. She's a 4
If
cost,
someone
so
can
that's
make
not
a good
bad.
deck to put counters on her quicker than she can put them on herself, she will be very good.
Yeah, you also
Yeah.
have to keep in mind that Oath of Teferi is still legal in Standard, and that card is so good. No, I think that's not realistic to play in this deck because then you would be playing 3 colors, and it would have to be more red heavy because she requires 2 red mana.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's a ton of synergy between those 3 colors.
No, I don't think that's realistic, but something like that helps her build up faster. Because let's just face it, like that -7, like exile the top 7 cards, and then you can play them. Like that's nice. I mean, in a red deck, just keep in mind, like mono red,
well, yeah.
you could probably have enough mana to play all of those cards because they're 1 and 2 drops. Like that's pretty good. But her enchantment ability is what makes that good because then you're dealing 7 damage to someone.
It just depends on the type of deck you put that in, because that attention, like kind of what Preston was
I
saying.
mean, basically,
it
it's
could be a
just
really
an
good card.
extension of your hand. It's not really
Exactly. Yeah.
So that card's kind of hit or miss.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
do you-
Davriel, I believe is his name.
I can't tell because there's
I think
some
he's a
shit
new
right-
character.
There's like
Yeah.
a watermark or something on the
No,
fucking
that's like
name.
that's part of the art.
It's his magic coming
yeah,
out.
it's his magic.
His magic coming out. You know,
He's coming out. He's coming out, guys. You need to support him.
He's sending you to the Shadow Realm.
Rogue Shadow Mage for 2 and a black. He comes in with 3 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, he deals 2 damage to them, which is like not that good until you see his -1, which says target player discards a card. So keep in mind that a lot of the current standard meta is burn. So they're playing spells really fast. They're getting rid of their hands really fast. And then you put that -1 ability on top of it. He potentially is going to be dealing some damage.
He's only a 3.
Demir
He only comes in at 3.
there's
Demir
no plus.
discard is really close to breaking into one of the better standard decks. It's not quite there, and this could maybe help push it into it.
There's no pluses though. That's
That's kind of what makes it sketch. It has,
That's what makes it
That's what I was
but
gonna
scary.
it's an uncommon. It's an uncommon.
I mean,
so-
it's not bad. It's a 3 cost, so that's lower than I think.
Yeah,
is that the
3
lowest
drop
one
for a
we've seen?
planeswalker like that is not really that bad.
Is that the lowest
really
cost we've
reasonable.
seen right now? Because most of them have
Yes.
either been
Yeah.
4 or 6.
All right,
There's a
y'all
couple-
are going to have to bear with me because I can barely read
my
this card.
gosh.
So this is a new Domri. that red-green hobo from Ravnica.
Well, it's red-green, so it automatically sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's automatically a bomb.
Yeah. So for 1, a red and a green, comes in with 3 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability is creatures you control have +1/+0. And then for +1, add red or green. Creatures spells you cast this turn can't be countered. That's really cool.
Is that the +1?
Yeah, that's his +1. And then it's -2. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Which I believe Prey Upon is still legal in Standard. But that, this kind of gets around it. I feel like this is better than Prey Upon. And a lot of people are playing red, green, and Standard right now, at least from gameplay, based on gameplay I've seen for Arena and stuff. It seems like a lot of people are
It says
playing.
only a 3-drop.
Yeah, so for only a 3-drop, this is pretty all right.
It's also rare.
That's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's a rare. So here's another one of those cards that wasn't released in English, and then someone went online and made it in English.
Fucking Gideon.
And it's Gideon Blackblade.
Hell yeah.
So Gideon Blackblade is white. For one, and then 2 white. Comes in with 4 loyalty. That already puts him ahead of the game. Because usually with Planeswalkers, it's however much mana you spend to cast it is how much loyalty it starts with. So he's already ahead in that sense. So he's a mythic, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. As long as it's your turn, Gideon Blackblade is a 4/4 human soldier creature with indestructible that's still a Planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Gideon during your turn. He can't die, guys. So for +1, up to 1 target creature you control gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Indestructible until end of turn. And then -6, exile target non-land permanent.
Ooh, I like that.
This card is disgusting. Why is it that every time Gideon shows up, you just can't get rid of him? It's you exile him or you lose, I guess?
Yeah, Gideon's just good.
Yeah.
Almost any
some
Gideon.
of his cards aren't too reliable because of how long it takes to get him going, but that one's not even that slow of a clock.
It's at least a 4/4 creature that can't die that you can at least swing with.
Right.
So for 3 mana, that by itself is nice. And then it's +1, you're pretty much always going to be able to use. And you're going to give something else that makes it better. This is a solid card. So here's that weird one that Preston mentioned a little bit earlier. We got Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, for 1 and 3 blue. That's weird.
That's awkward mana right there.
If you're not playing mono blue, it doesn't really make much sense to play this card. And as far as I know, no one's playing mono blue, at least in Standard.
Who plays mono blue in general?
Pauper,
lot of
Modern,
people play
Legacy.
mono blue.
Pretty much everyone except in Standard, because red is the dominant color in Standard, but blue is the dominant color everywhere else. But anyway, so for that 4 mana, he comes in with 4 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability, if you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. There's a creature card that gets a lot of play in Modern that kind of does the same thing. So it's kind of cool.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. So it's kind of cool that they're bringing that back to Standard. I think that's a awesome, fun little mechanic. It's we're going to mill ourselves.
And there are some decent mill spells right now.
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting how many passive abilities that Planeswalkers have. That's a new thing to kind of add into the set.
They almost act like enchantments. There are definitely some on here, especially the uncommon ones. They can't really put counters on themselves. They can only take them away. They kind of then just become over glorified enchantments.
But they're a lot cheaper than the enchantments that they're usually based on. So.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Give
So
and
anyways,
take.
for his +1, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard and you draw a card. So since this is kind of a self-mill card, that's cool. You can do that to yourself, and then all of a sudden you're 3 less cards in your library. And then -8, draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. It's a weird card. And again, you wouldn't play this if you're not playing mono blue, but I have a deck that's mono blue mill. I wouldn't mill myself with it, but it's fun.
That art.
That art is pretty dope too. I know we're all kind of tired of Jace, but I dig.
Well, there's only 30 Jaces. So.
Only.
Yeah, no, Jake's always looks cool enough. He's just
Jace
boring.
looks awesome. It's just...
He's a boring character.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to butcher this name, and I am so sorry. Jiang Yangu Wildcrafter. He is
probably Jang Yagu.
he is one of the planeswalkers that was in that what country was it in China that they released it? There was a set that was or a dual deck kind of thing that was released in China where it had some new characters, and it was cards that are only legal to play if you're in China. But it was a promotional thing to help.
You could buy it here, but
Yeah, you can buy it here, but it's not really legal in anything.
it wasn't good, and
Yeah.
so
But he is one of those planeswalkers. And he is an uncommon for 2 and a green, comes in with 3 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability, I actually really like, is each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has you can tap it for 1 mana of any color. And then for -1, you can put a 1/1 counter on target creature.
The ramp potential is
It's there, man.
There's a lot of
Crazy.
black-green Explorer decks that have a hard time fixing their mana. He could definitely be good in that.
Yeah. I would say of the uncommons, I looked ahead at these before we did this video. I think he's probably my favorite of the uncommons. And part of that's just because I like playing green, and I also like playing decks that play multiple colors. So it's ramp, which is very green, and then it's mana fixing because it can tap for any color.
Definitely putting this in my Varash commander deck.
No, stop.
Or just green black.
So next we have Karn the Great Creator. He is a rare for 4 colorless mana, 4 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability says activated abilities of artifacts you control or your opponent's control can't be activated. You're turning off your opponent's artifacts. That's disgusting. For +1, until your next turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost. And then for -2, you may choose an artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. It's really that -2 that I think is really the kicker, because it doesn't even... It can just pull whatever the frick it wants into the game.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
basically.
All right, so...
Kaya,
Bane of the Dead. I also want to say that I'm actually kind of happy that they have these planeswalkers that are for hybrid mana. I think,
white.
because then like you could play this in a mono black deck, or you could play this in a mono white deck, or even like a deck that's multiple colors but it doesn't have one of those colors. Yeah, it has that flexibility. I think that's so awesome. So,
And this one in particular is pretty nasty.
she's pretty good.
It's a 7. It comes out at 7.
Yeah. So for 3 colorless and then 3 hybrid white black, comes in with 7 loyalty. Your opponents and permanents your opponents control with hexproof can be the target of spells and abilities you control as though they didn't have hexproof.
Ooh, this is my favorite card in the set. This is one of my favorite cards in the set. I love this card.
So it's basically a
This
wait.
card is so gross.
Get away hexproof, go away.
Carnage Tyrant
much a counter
is
to
what this was
Hexproof.
made for sure.
Yeah. And then her -3 is exile target creature, which is good.
Blue-black control.
Next, we have the return of Kiora. I believe we saw her in Battle for Zendikar. Crap, this is disgusting. So for 2 and then hybrid green blue, comes in with 7 loyalty. What the frick? And her enchantment-like ability is whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Which she's playing. She's green, so that could be pretty easy. And then -1 untap target permanent. Primarily, you would probably do that on land, so you can get an extra mana out of them.
This is the infinite combo. With
This is
that
the infinite
artifact.
combo?
You can. Well, not infinite, but because it costs mana to do, but you tap down an artifact to proliferate. So she replaces the counter you used to untap it. And it makes all those
Jeez.
other planeswalkers you're running.
Untapped.
I'm sure most of the planeswalker themed decks are going to have at least green or blue.
I'm sure most of them will have blue because everyone's trying to play Oath of Teferi.
I want to put that in my commander deck.
That's a really...
This is definitely
green
going in the
blue.
Hydroid Crisis deck.
Oh, yeah. This is by far my favorite planeswalker, and part
You
of that's
just like it
because
just because she's hot. But
everyone loves Liliana.
exactly.
Did you guys
Nobody-
see that trailer? She was badass in that
Yeah.
trailer.
Nobody dislikes.
I mean,
Liliana.
she waved her hand a little bit. Calm down.
I don't give a fuck. Anywho,
He said, "Don't get a boner now, Morgan."
well, part of it's my nostalgia for zombies. I've always liked playing zombies whenever they're legal and standard.
Because he's dead inside.
I am dead inside.
Yeah, but
I played zombies in standard. I played Delirium zombies for a long time.
Black green delirium.
Yep. Okay, so we got new Liliana, like the 3000th Liliana. Dread Horde General. So 6 converted mana cost, 4 and 2 black. Comes in with 6 loyalty. Her enchantment-like ability is whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card. For +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. That includes yourself, which means you're triggering the enchantment ability. And then -9, her ultimate. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest.
Which includes lands.
Which includes lands.
All permanents
So basically, it's a board wipe, including lands.
except for one.
That's
Except for
disgusting.
yourself, too.
yeah.
It completely depends on what colors you're running, but you could easily, by like turn 10, be like, you know what? you're going down to 1 land.
I'd say this is definitely.
I don't think her ult's gonna do much.
just
in
have to quit the
standard,
game, honestly.
But the card is still good enough to be a huge potential.
Yeah,
Like that static ability alone would make her worth it, probably in standard with all the zombie cards being made.
And you also have to keep in mind they had some awesome zombie stuff in Core Set 19, but there wasn't like enough to push zombie deck back into standard. But you know,
It's not terrible, but
Death Baron.
this set is going to bring.
Yeah.
Death Baron got reprinted in Core Set, and that's like one of the best zombie creatures there are. So yeah, I definitely think that's going to get a lot of
That's
play.
one of the better.
So-
Ooh, and Nahiri?
Nahiri's back. Storm of Stone for 2, and then hybrid red-white comes in with 6 loyalty. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike and equip abilities. You activate costs 1 colorless less to activate. And then for -X, she deals X damage to target tapped creature. Since she comes in with 6 loyalty,
And it's
that's like
3-drop.
for 3
Or no, 4
for
drop.
4 mana.
4-drop.
That's almost just an instant kill.
Well, that's a lot better than the Shadows of.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
can definitely be a game ender in the mono red or mono white decks that are in standard right now.
Can we talk about that first strike though?
Yeah.
That is a very underrated ability. First strike is.
Help. Yeah.
They definitely.
I don't think the red white aggro decks need any more help. I think this is
Honestly.
unnecessary.
Oh no, they don't need it, but they're gonna run
get
it.
She's an uncommon.
She's an uncommon.
The
That's
whole equipping thing has
So
nothing to do
dumb.
with standard. That's for commander and stuff or modern later.
Yeah, I was
but-
gonna say. I mean, I doubt she'd ever get play in anything other than standard or commander. But like, I know that there are enough white decks in modern that maybe someone will see this card and be like, "Let's try putting this like Lopez's mono white deck." You know, Yeah. I bet Lopez is looking at this and being like, "I'll try.
I'll probably put this in my
tap that.
red
I
white
smash.
commander deck.
Oh god.
Here he is, boys.
It's yo boy, Nicol Bolas. He's back. Dragon
Actually-
Ball.
What's up?
He actually looks like a dragon.
It's your
Actually looks
boy.
like a dragon. For converted mana cost 5, this mana cost is disgusting, and it's the only reason I'm questioning this card. For 1 blue, 3 black, and 1 red.
Can you say commander?
Right? You almost need to play commander in order to play this thing because
Basically.
the mana fixing's so stupid. But he comes in with
Yeah.
4. He comes in with 4 loyalty, and honestly, I'm willing to play him just for his enchantment like ability.
You just want to play him just because you love Nicol Bolas.
You're right though. Nicol Bolas, Dragon God, has all loyalty abilities of all other planeswalkers on the battlefield.
But then again, that's a double-edged sword too, because if there's no planeswalkers on the battlefield, then
Right.
I mean, he still has his own abilities.
I mean, yeah, he still has his own abilities.
His own abilities, so
But
not
it's not
bad.
really a lose.
But, you know, realistically, probably no one's going to play him in standard. And if people are playing him in standard, planeswalkers are all over the place. And if not, you're going to be playing him in commander. And then there's still a decent amount of planeswalkers in commander. So
I would love to see someone try and make a deck
Closest
over this.
thing to a
That'd be
real
so
problem
cool.
with this in commander is that it's not going to go in Atraxa because of the red.
right.
That's like the only negative to this card because
Yeah.
that's the
Even
deck.
in a Monacan, not a lot of people played Nicol Bolas in standard anyway.
Right.
Like, it was mostly
Because he's so
kinda
hard to
commander
get out.
and,
He's so hard. Yeah, like God Pharaoh from Hour of Devastation. That's one of the best planeswalkers ever made. But in standard, it's so hard to cast him.
especially
Yeah.
in his standard.
Yeah, it was so
You know,
hard to cast him.
red deck
But if
wins.
you got him out, that was an almost guaranteed win. Anyways, his own abilities: +1, you draw a card, and each opponent exiles a card from their hand or permanent they control. -3,
I hate it.
-3, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Ew. Minus
God.
-8, each opponent that doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game.
I mean, his ult is one of those where, you know, it can just backfire. Like you'll have the ability to do it, but you can't because there's no good reason to.
Yeah, that
Which
happens
was
a lot.
what, like maybe the biggest problem with the Commander Precons Planeswalkers. Like people got to their ult level all the time, just there was no reason to do it.
Right.
They're so situational, and there's no reason. Yeah. All right. So next we got Nissa, who shakes the world. That's
Okay,
a really
what
dumb
Planeswalker
name.
isn't in this set? They have Nissa, they have Chandra. They
To
have
answer your
Bolas.
question, almost every planeswalker is in this set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could've
Well, yeah.
sworn.
I mean, in the lore, it's everyone's coming to Ravnica to battle it out. All the planeswalkers who are against Bolas, and then all the planeswalkers who work for Bolas, and it's Infinity War,
Yeah.
except it's
The lore-
and for some reason Garak's not here. Garak's not here.
He's not?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
No.
That does suck. He's a cool planeswalker.
I like, let me see
Unless
green
they're
guy.
just hiding
Because
him.
Nicol Bolas is doing his job. So Nissa, who shakes the world, for 3 and 2 green, comes in with 5 loyalty. Whenever you tap a forest for mana, add an additional green. Her +1, put 3/1/1 counters on target non-creature land you control. Untap that land, and it becomes a 0/0 green elemental creature token with not token, with vigilance and haste, and it's still a land.
Can we hold on? Can we just reverse back to that other planeswalker where it was like untap a target permanent? Combine this with that infinite combo, infinite mana into infinite creatures.
All of a sudden, this is really disgusting.
Oh, I think
Not guaranteed.
I think I need to take a shower with all that this nastiness going on right
Not
there.
guaranteed an infinite combo with that
Right.
though.
And then her -8. I think this is the first time I've mentioned an emblem this video. You get an emblem. Lands you control are indestructible. Search your library for any number of forest cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So that whole Liliana thing.
Mono green's coming back.
Man,
Just put all your lands on your
So good.
on the battlefield.
So I don't think there's
Putting
a
that in my land
necessarily
deck.
bad green planeswalker in this set so far. I haven't seen one.
Arlen.
You?
Arlen kind of
Oh, yeah.
sucks.
Oh, besides
yeah.
Arlen, yeah.
So next we got Obnixilis, the Hate Twisted. For 3 and 2 black, comes in with 5 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Obnixilis deals 1 damage to that player. And then for -2, destroy target creature. Its controller draws 2 cards.
It's an
This
uncommon.
is just okay.
This
Yeah,
is just
it's
okay.
not terrible.
There's
It's
not a lot to say
terrible,
about
it's not
this.
great.
kind of mediocre.
This will probably be really good in a draft if you get it, if you get some good black stuff. But
For the viewers, this is probably the most painful one just because the image is so low quality. Ral, Storm Conduit.
Ralph, is that you?
Ral, R-A-L. So his enchantment-like ability, whenever you cast... Oh, crap, this is so hard to read. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, deal 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker.
Are you sure you're reading that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then for +2, scry 1. -2, whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose a new target for that copy.
What the fuck?
Red Blue's already.
He loops with himself.
Red Blue.
I
Red,
was gonna say the first 2 parts of him, fine. You read that last one, I was like, no.
Red Blue's already really annoying.
Why are you making Is It Drake's better?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Is It Drake's is already like a great deck. So next up, we got Samet, Tyrant Smasher. She's back from Amonkhet. For 2, and then hybrid red-green, comes in with 5 loyalty. Creatures you control have haste. And then -1, target creature gets +2, -1.
No,
and
+2,
gains-
+1.
+2, +1, and gains haste until end of turn. Scry 1.
So this is a hybrid also, so you can play red or green.
Yeah, I feel like more than anything, it's going to see play in mono red decks. Just,
No shit.
yeah, I mean, it.
I don't know.
A lot of stuff in
Mono
there.
green too could use that. The haste.
The haste would be pretty nasty.
They go
haste.
better in a mono red.
Yeah.
Plus, both colors could use the scry 1.
I don't think you need to add red and green though.
No.
No,
No.
you could just play one or the other.
I think they're both great separate, and adding them just confuses it.
If I was
Yeah.
gonna put this, I'd go mono red.
But what I'm saying is both colors are in need of card advantage, and that -1 that lets you scry 1, that's card advantage that both colors are lacking. and it's
Green
as much.
really only has Beast Whisper right now for great card advantage.
exactly.
Next, we got Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. And I'm not actually sure whose side he's on. I would assume he's on the side with the Gatewatch, but he's also kind of a shady character if you really get into the story. So if Bullis got him on his side, I don't know if I'd be surprised.
I mean, with that art, who knows?
Who knows?
he kind of
does
looks
not
like
look
he's
nice.
That
He
art's-
doesn't look very nice.
The art's badass though.
Oh yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. All right, so he's a rare. And then for 2 and a white and a black, comes in with 4 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability is as long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. And then +2, he deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. And then -X, return target creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types.
Oh,
The only problem I have with him is that white black is not really going to have much for planeswalkers to do damage.
It's the
I mean, he
creatures-
activates with himself, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because, like, you do that +2 and he pings and
Yeah.
you gain a life off of that. So,
Plus, he's a vampire when you can use that for other vampire types.
yeah, I mean, even in, like, vampire tribal decks and, like, Commander,
Yeah.
like, this could find a home.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now we got Teferi, Time Raveler.
This is the card. I don't think it's the best of the planeswalkers, but it's going to be the one to piss me off the most.
So, Teferi, for 1, a blue and a white, comes in with 4 loyalty. God, why several of these come out ahead on that rule that I mentioned. His enchantment-like ability, each opponent can cast spells only anytime they could cast sorcery. You're turning off instances and you're turning off flash.
man,
Plus-
that kind of just destroys red decks. Low key.
red-
Oh, you want to? Yeah, because a lot of the time they'll just play shock during your turn.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that red. Yeah,
that and
exactly.
green combat tricks, other blue and white decks.
Yeah.
Vrask can't play Vraska Contempt during your opponent's turn. Oh man. +1. Until your next turn, you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. Turn a sorcery into an instant. -3. Return up to one target artifact, creature, or enchantment to its owner's hand. Draw a card.
Boys, I just gotta say, fuck this card.
I'm sure whole decks are gonna be built
you don't
around
like
this
blue-white,
one card.
Preston?
Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, I'm pretty sure is still the most expensive card in Standard.
Yeah.
And this card is going in that same deck.
It's not going to be as good as Hin,
No,
but still.
the deck is already so good.
It is.
So this next one is one that I personally think is interesting.
One of my favorite of the uncommons.
Yeah. So Teo, the Shield Mage, for 2 and a white, comes in with 5 loyalty. You have hexproof. -2.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good protection from
That just
freaking.
counters everything.
Yeah, red deck wins. Get out of here.
That just counters.
And then -2, create a 0/3 white wall creature token with Defender.
It's
Press it in-
boring, but it's a good counter because I mean you're pretty much
You're giving yourself hexproof.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. Yeah, and then Arcades, who isn't really getting play in Standard.
This
but-
isn't going to push Arcades into.
No, it's not going to push them into Standard. But I have a commander deck that's Arcades, and this might go in there. Yeah, it's fun.
I do hate the art, though. He looks kind of weird.
because he's Asian.
That's racist.
Wow.
Looks more Spanish, really.
Sheesh.
That's almost worse since you're American.
All right, Tezzeret, is it?
We have another Tezzeret, and as usual, Tezzeret makes me want to gouge my eyes out. So for 4 and then a blue and a black, he comes in with 5 loyalty. His enchantment-like ability. Creatures and planeswalkers you control have affinity for artifacts.
So what is Infinity actually? I don't.
They cost 1 less colorless mana to cast.
Oh, okay.
+2, he deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control, and you gain X life.
Fuck those artifact decks.
-3, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. And then his ultimate at -8. Exile the top 10 cards of your library, put all artifact cards from among them onto the battlefield.
Oof.
I don't know what.
I don't think this is going to be
Sheesh.
standard, though. I think it's a little too slow. And I don't know if there's
because it's a 6.
and I don't think there's enough great artifacts at the moment to really justify.
Is
It's
Par- is
About
close,
that.
but-
Paradox Engine still in Standard?
No.
No. Okay. All right, because I'm about to say.
We got 4 left. So this is the Wanderer for 3 colorless and a white, 5 loyalty, prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control, and then -2, exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Great way for white decks to protect themselves.
I mean, with this one, it's kind of just like with the other one with the hexproof.
Oh,
It's
and,
kinda like a counter.
Protects
Hey
itself.
guys, look, the Planeswalker doesn't have a name. Wonder why.
Oh yeah, Preston, why don't you talk about that?
What?
So apparently Mark Rosewater, the big magic guy, he says, now it was on April Fool's, so it hopefully is a joke, but apparently we're supposed to be the Wanderer. Like the player is the
The
Wanderer.
Planeswalker.
We
we're
are the
Planeswalker.
Wanderer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I hate it.
That's kind of that's kind of cheesy.
I'm okay with the idea of having a planeswalker that is us and we are that planeswalker, but this one's kind of boring to be that
I was
one.
about to say, there's not really anything that grabs me with this Planeswalker.
And like,
Very
women play
anticlimactic.
magic, but this is clearly a woman, and most people playing magic are dudes.
Just
It's,
saying.
it's just a weird choice.
That's extremely
And like the Asian-inspired clothing in general is kind of weird.
What do you have against Asians? You're talking bad about that other planeswalker?
that other
Now
one.
you're bad mouthing this one.
I think it's because they're white cards and they're Asian.
Well, and they're kind of boring. They were both kind of boring, except for they both
Sheesh.
had hexproof. They're
No,
like,
I didn't
I'm-
like Teo
hey, man.
because his face is all weird looking. Like,
He's Asian.
yeah.
no, his proportions are off. But yeah, if we're gonna be a planeswalker, it should be all 5 colors and be a toned down version of Urza from it.
Okay.
So I
That's what
got.
I'm thinking.
So next we got Tybalt for 2 colorless and a red. Comes in with 5 loyalty. Your opponents can't gain life.
I like that.
That's what Mono Red needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. They had a dinosaur from Ixalan that did this, and they ended up banning it.
He might get banned.
Wouldn't that be ironic? Tybalt, who is like ironically like one of the worst planeswalkers
The
ever.
worst, for sure.
The worst.
He all of a sudden gets banned in standard.
Too strong.
And then his -2 is create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target.
It's there so
Disgusting.
mono red can sideboard in against life gain decks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if he's gonna be like a main part of the deck, but I'm sure we'll see.
not a main
he'll
part?
He'll get sideboarded.
Probably like yeah.
At least a 2 or 3
Definitely.
of.
Especially, I think he'll be sideboard, and then when he goes up against a life gain deck or any Healer's Hawk or whatever that white common that's
maybe
in every
one.
white deck right now in standard, you play against a
And a
deck that runs
Johnny's
that,
Pridemate.
and a Johnny's Pridemate. Yeah,
Yep.
you go up against that deck, and this guy's getting thrown.
Yeah,
in.
you're gonna get
yeah.
Maybe
fucked.
1 in the main deck, 2 in the sideboard, something like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Not even
He is that-
sideboard. He could be in the main deck.
He could.
He could, but I don't think he's
But
worth
turn-
taking up that 3 mana
yeah,
slot
that's
if
the
you're not
most
going against
important.
He's
life.
Oh,
really
yeah, no.
specific with his ability.
The 3, yeah, probably
Turn-
sideboard mainly.
Turn 3 is really important, especially in red.
That's
Because
the most important turn for sure.
Yeah. All right, so we got 2 left. We have another Vivian. This is Champion of the Wilds. For 2 and a green, she comes in with 4 loyalty. Her enchantment is you may cast creature spells as though they had flash.
No, you can't, because Teferi is going to be a thing.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone knows that Teferi is going to get more
Fuck
play than
that
this.
card.
For +1, until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gains vigilance and reach. Her -2, this is kind of hard to read from this far away. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Exile. Do you have it pulled up? Why don't
Yeah.
you read it?
So wait, exile 1 face down and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you may look at that card. You may cast it if it's a creature card.
This is one of the only ones that lets you do that without it. Like, if she blows up, you can still do it.
Yeah.
I'll probably put her in a bunch of my commander decks to deal with
Are you
flyers.
putting all of the mono green commanders in the mono green planeswalker?
Most
Probably.
of,
Might
most
as well.
of Preston's decks play green. So
I mean, green's good.
It's
green
the
is
best
really
color in
good.
commander
because
it can fix mana. It gets the
It can
big
fix
stuff
mana,
you put
life
in.
gain.
exactly.
It puts in the big creatures you want in commander. It can make a bunch of creatures. This one actually kind of sucks.
So this is the last one, and it sucks. All right, so this is Vraska, who is one of my favorite planeswalkers. Ironically, sucks now. This is Swarm's Imminence for 2, and then hybrid black-green, 2 of those. Comes in with 5 loyalty. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player or planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, which is okay. And then -2, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch. And whenever this creature deals damage to a player, destroy that planeswalker. Or to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker.
I mean, in a ping deck, that could actually be pretty good.
But green and black doesn't ping.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this card kind of sucks.
No, it's
there's
just
not even a lot to say about this card. It just kind of sucks.
It just
It
kind
just has a -2
Like,
that's
even-
mediocre.
down
Like,
booty.
if you
Now, I
got
realize it's an uncommon, and if you're playing one of those cards, you might just take this. If you're playing a
In
draft,
maybe.
if you're
but
playing a draft and you're playing one or both of those colors, it's not the worst turn 4 you could have.
Well, in a draft, you don't even really know what's going on. You're kind of just like, oh,
Right.
new magic.
But I
set.
was gonna say at 4 mana, you have like common creatures that are probably a better long game decision than this. They do have some other cards released for the set right now. I would say more than half of the set has been released at this point. But I haven't extensively looked at them other than the Planeswalkers.
the only ones I've seen a bunch of are the mass cards, which does seem to be good.
Mass seems like it'll be fun. I am
Yeah.
definitely going to try it. So yeah, there are going to be 36 Planeswalkers in this new set. We just talked about 27 of them.
All I can think of is Oprah just saying, "You get a bag, you get a bag." So with this,
but Planeswalkers.
Wizards like, "You get a planeswalker, you get a planeswalker."
I'm definitely buying a box for this set,
Please do.
Like a booster box, or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
buy a booster box.
without a doubt.
Draft with the boys.
We split
Draft
money
with the
on-
boys?
split money on booster box.
Draft with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we split
No, I'm
money.
gonna open it myself and be that guy.
So thanks for watching this episode of the Geek and Seek podcast. Make sure you guys are checking out War of the Spark. There's a trailer for it. I'll leave a link to it in the description of the video. Make sure to check that out. Head to the pre-release. It's April 27th, 28th. It's going to be a great time. I think this is going to be one of the most fun pre-releases that Standard has had in a while. I don't know how much it's going to affect the Standard gameplay as much. I don't know how much it's going to affect Arena, but I definitely know that this is going to be a fun pre-release experience, so make sure you at least go to that.
Make sure to leave hateful comments.
Leave hateful comments, as
Especially
always.
about Morgan.
Insult Neo again.
Insult Neo, even though he's not here,
And Steven.
and Steven, because he chose
Stave.
Stave had the option to be on this podcast and is,
But he didn't
upstairs
want to
anyways.
because he was doing work he put off, so he didn't have to be on the podcast.
Plus, I think
Basically.
his nipples are sore. So
Yeah.
From moving too much.
So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe.